to the show. We have Coach Shannon Hodge here today. It's been a minute, Coach Hodge. Appreciate you coming in. The schedules get kind of hectic this time of year.
Definitely.
But again, welcome to the show, presented by WHITETAIL Properties in cooperation with H&H Home and Hardware, First United Bank, La Delicia Restaurant, Farmers Bank and Trust, Frazer Law Firm, C-Plant Federal Credit Union, YTG Insurance, Rocket Tire, and Bobby Stinnett Used Cars. Coach Hodge, we're going to try to look backwards just a little bit. I think the last time we had you on was maybe right before or right after the All-A, maybe. Right after the All-A. It's just been a minute, though.
It has. I tell you what, since the All-A region, it's just been a blur. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we have played a lot of games and we've just done a lot of things, and it's just gone fast.
The schedule's really toughened up the last week or so too.
It has, and that's intentional.
Sure.
I make the schedule, and we definitely wanted in these last few weeks to have a run of opponents that we could potentially see in the regional tournament. Try to get the better teams in the region on the schedule late when we feel like we ought to be playing our best ball and prepare us for that postseason.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of toughening up, you got a little black eye there, a little accident at home fell, but I'm sure people are questioning Dennis, Coach Hodge, whether he's been roughing you up. Well, we know that's not true.
No, just little accidents.
Yeah, well, accidents happen, back to the basketball. So right now, just kind of looking through the RPI in the region, it's Henderson County, Lyon County, Christian County, Madisonville, and Crittenden County next. And of course, Madisonville, we're recording this on Tuesday. Madisonville will be in here tonight, so that's going to be a good test. People probably won't see this until after that's over. So, just that game, you played Hopkinsville, you played Christian County, Callaway County was really good. So just really a brutal part of the schedule. What have you learned from that?
Well, I think that we have to feel like we're in there competing. We haven't won all those games, but we're trying to find the things that we do well, try to find the things we've got to work on. Rebounding is a big issue, has been in the losses that we've had. Christian County, it was big toward the end of the game against Hop Central. We were able to hang on and win that game, but the physicality there was big. Physicality over at Hopkinsville. So we are really trying to focus on getting ourselves prepared for the physicality of the postseason, which it's always going to be. A little more things are let go, I think, in the postseason. But we've really got to, as a team, focus on that part of our game a little more. We're seeing more pressure full court. I think after we struggled a little bit with it at the All-A state tournament, the second game that we played. When we got back home, people were starting to pressure us a little bit more, and sometimes we're handling it well and sometimes we're not. And so those are things, we spent a lot of time yesterday on press offense. These are things that I feel like we have the physical capability to handle and to be better at. We just have to get it in our heads, be mentally ready for those things. Because I think if we will do that, we will handle them fine. But here again, I think our youth has shown a little bit. I think the grind of the season and trying to stay fresh and trying to continue to be as mentally and focused as you can be. I think we've had some good games. We've had some slippages. Played Union County, played them a great game. We've had games where we've started out really well, and then we've maybe struggled a little bit in spurts in the second half. But basketball's a game of runs, and we just have to try to extend ours and shorten the opponents and try to sustain the things that we're doing well and continue to work right on to the end on things that are fundamental that we know we have to do.
Yeah, and then you've had a little run of injury here. Federico's been out, Andrea Federico, and other than some stuff in preseason where you lost a couple of players, Chloe and Chloe Hunt and Elle McDaniel. You've been fortunate, really. A few little bumps and bruises here and there, but then Fed goes out with concussion protocol now and should be back later this week. Wait, can you tell?
We're just going to try to set our goal to be back for the district tournament.
Yeah.
We want to be a little extra cautious and make sure that we're not putting her out there early. Don't want her to have any kind of symptoms at all when she steps back on the floor. And she's a tough kid, and that, at the Hopkinsville game on Friday night, I think she, we'd had her on the floor. Yeah. It would have made a difference for sure. We've got this big game against Madisonville tonight, but I try to tell kids this is just one of those things that you can't control, and so we have to overcome. And maybe it's going to give kids that wouldn't have got as many minutes, more minutes to play, and get them more prepared to be contributors even when she gets back.
And watching your team play all season long, Andrea Federico is not a girl that shows up in the box scores a lot. I mean, she'll score you 6-7 points a game, right, but she's worth 25 points in what she defends.
Yes,
and just her physicality on the court.
She draws the toughest defensive job, by far. If it's a post player or a bigger perimeter player, she's going to get the call because of her physical strength. She's strong. She's just very strong, and so we miss her out there. But like I said, we're going to look at it as a means of some preparation for some other kids, and then when she gets back, we'll be all the better for it.
Let's talk a little bit about Anna Boone. She's averaging over 20 points a game, and clearly you got to start talking about her in the conversation for Player of the Year in the region, not just the district, but she's up there in the region.
She is. I think Anna's averaging. It has the highest scoring average, but you just don't look at that. Anna's would be the next person that gets a tough defensive assignment. Because of her length, we kind of use her in various ways defensively, but she's our leader and who the kids look to, and she's been like a Taylor Guess in that she's had double teams and people hanging on her all year long, and she's gone about her business and continued to play well, and Anna's a baller, and so when things get tight, she wants the ball and she needs to have the ball.
Yeah. When do we start talking about comparing her to Taylor Guess and some of the other all-time greats at Crittenden County?
I think she's she's a kind of, everybody has their own kind of uniqueness as those players, and I think Anna and Taylor are different, in a lot of respects. I think there's a lot of things that Anna, as a sophomore, still has to gain, and I think you'll see her come back next year even physically stronger. That's something that I think if you looked at Taylor in her latter years, she was just a hoss. Taylor could
just
go to
the rim,
just
the floor.
She's going to take the ball to the rim and she's going to score and get fouled. And Anna's getting to the free throw line numerous times, like Taylor did. But whenever she can start doing that and having more of the 3-point plays where she's putting it in the bucket and then going to the free throw line and get the third point on that possession, we'll get in there. But I think you throw her out there, she's scoring lots of points.
Yeah.
I mean, the region this year, there aren't that many seniors, honestly. A lot of teams are like us, and they're a younger teams, and so you're seeing a lot of younger kids, do well. With our team, we got Anna and Elliott and Fed and all the others that we have, and Lyon County's got a young team. They have a couple of seniors, but then Livingston, I don't think Livingston has a senior on their roster either, and Trigg's playing a lot of young kids, and then the other teams. I think I'm trying to think, who did we play the other day? The Hoptowns and the Madisonvilles and those teams. They have one or two. Christian County, they're young. So you're going to see, these teams that have been battling and up there in the regional running right now are going to be the teams that are there the next couple of years.
Next few years,
going to keep banging heads. Yeah.
The good news is we've been right there with all of them, and
right.
So yeah, let's just kind of go on down the line, just kind of just to freshen up what we know about your maybe your top 5 or 6, and mentioned Anna, and of course she's you talked about her at the foul line. She has shot. I mean, she has made more foul shots this year than anybody else in the state has shot. Did you realize that?
I looked at it not long ago.
Yeah.
I haven't in the last week or so, but I knew
she has made more than anybody else in Kentucky girls basketball has shot. Now her percentage isn't the best in the state.
No, but
it's up there.
81,
She's way
I
up there.
think.
She's in the top 10 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
But just incredible how often she's getting there and making these shots.
Yeah, and I just like when Taylor was, I think she could
Same
go.
thing.
She could be a whole lot more. She could be there a lot more times than
more.
she is. But yeah, she's got a knack of getting to the rim.
And Elliot is she's kind of getting to the basket a little more now. Her game's maturing a little bit.
It is. Elliot, the last couple of weeks has been playing extremely hard. I think Callaway County was a game where she really turned the corner. We were struggling, and Elliot just kind of went to work, and on both ends of the floor, defensively, offensively, rebounding, getting the ball to the rim. And, we talked about that, she and I did, and just challenged her to continue to do that, and she has. Her shot's coming back around. She's, she has a really pretty shot, and for some reason, early in the year, the ball just wasn't going in the basket as much for her, but it started going in now, so she's more confident doing that. And, of course, I'm talking to him all the time about mental stuff and about leadership and that kind of thing, and she's really trying to step up and be more verbal and do the things that I feel like that she's very capable of doing on both ends of the floor.
And of course, the center, your sophomore center, Briston rushing. She kind of has a tendency to get some foul trouble, so sometimes it's hard for her to really get in the flow of a game.
It is, but she's rebounded the ball really well this year. I was hoping that we would be able to get her the ball a little bit more, and she'd do a little bit more scoring. I think that you're going to see, hopefully we're still going to try to look at that as we go into postseason, and then in the next couple of years. But Briston's extremely capable, and we've talked about this before. She missed her 8th grade season with a foot injury, and didn't get to play a whole lot last year because that was still lingering a little bit. So this is really, since her 7th grade season, the first year that she's been able to complete a year.
Yeah.
And so you see that growth and the maturity, and when she's locked in, she has really helped us a bunch defensively, just defending around the rim and rebounding. On the offensive end, she gets a lot of offensive rebounds. And so she's, as we're playing these teams that are better in our region, she's seeing some more quality post players as well, which is challenging her to step up her game. And so, I've got a lot of confidence in Briston and her abilities to rebound and score and defend and do the things we need her to.
I think she gets a lot of cheap fouls too.
She
I
does.
think just because she's taller and she looks like she's straight up, and they call.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what a foul is sometimes.
Yeah, well, you've got to really work hard. I talk to our post players. You got to really do your work early in the post defensively, and you've got to really try to get yourself in position from hips down, not from your waist up. Right. And I think sometimes she has a tendency to lean a little bit with her hands, and even though I don't think she's fouling, I think when she leans a little, it looks like it's going to be called. So that's just something we've got to be disciplined to work at.
And of course, Jordan, your daughter, has really, her game is maturing too, and she's started out 6 man. Now she's in the start lineup most of the time. And
Jordan has shot the ball pretty decent for us this year. Of course, mom and coach are pretty hard on her and expect a whole lot, but she's got a lot of ability to help us out when we're getting pressed, handling the ball, especially against a man-to-man. Her physical strength is something that right now she gets bounced around a little bit because she's still young and not really physically mature. But I think mentally, you've got to get yourself in position to take those hits and to be able to handle yourself a little bit better. And she's learning. She's getting better. I see spurts where I feel like she's contributing as much as she should, then spurts where feel like she's playing like a middle schooler.
Yeah.
But she has shot the ball well and she handles the ball well, and we've got to continue to challenge her to just be more physical as she plays. The last few minutes in the Hopkinsville game the other night when Anna went out, Anna had a kid step under her when she went up and shot a three and came down and rolled her ankle, and then so Jordan was out there to handle the ball, and she did a much better job then than she'd done all night, because I think she felt like she had to.
Yeah.
And so that's, what we're challenging her to maybe try to do a little bit more, even when Anna's on the floor. It'd be great to put Anna up the floor and receiving the ball instead of giving it up and having to get it back.
Right. Georgia Holman, the fire in her belly lately has been fun to watch, isn't it?
Yes, Georgia has really come on. We didn't get to play JV early in the year because of our numbers. We had to wait till we got our middle school kids here. And then even in January, we didn't get to have very many JV games. And Georgia played a lot. Of course, she started at the beginning of the year, and she's played a lot of varsity minutes. But I think her being able to get 3, 4, 5 JV games under her belt where she's out there and having to be someone who is a leader, who is thinking more and having to control the ball more, and then is drawing the tougher defensive assignment and those kind of things, has really boosted her confidence. And she has been coming into the varsity games and has been playing well. She's a definite 3-point, threat, and she's moving around a lot better, getting her hand on some, offensive rebounds and a few more deflections, and being in the passing lanes a little bit more like I wanted to. So I'm really proud of Georgia. She's done a good job.
And then Morgan Stewart comes in and gives you some strong minutes. She's a workhorse now.
Yeah, Morgan's had to play. She's been put on the spot several times this year, especially if Brisson's been in foul trouble. And now that Federico is out, Morgan's being depended upon, and she's just physically extremely strong. We have to continue to work on our footwork and things like that, but she rebounds well when she's locked in, and she can score the ball, off of that offensive glass. And so we just have to keep her moving and keep her involved and know that she's got to know she's somebody here down the stretch that we're depending upon. I like Morgan's ability to contribute.
Yeah, and you go a few more down in the lineup, but those girls don't get to play just a whole lot.
Right.
But if there's any of them you would like to mention,
Charlie Mundy's been out there working all year, and Madison Walker, and we brought in Abigail Champion, who is a 7th grader. And those guys, you never know when your number's going to get called. And
they played a good bit lately.
They have
for some injuries and fouls and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And again, what they've needed is to be able to play. And so the JV minutes are so important for those guys to gain confidence and just be able to get some repetitions that they haven't gotten all year.
Well, it all comes to a climax next week. We'll start the district tournament. It'll be over at Lyon County, and we'll open up with Livingston, a team that got us early, but we handled pretty well last time we saw them, and then of course we beat them in All A as well. We played them?
No, we didn't play them
in All A. So we played them twice. Beat them pretty good second time. But I was looking. They've played about 6 or 7 fewer games this year than we've played.
Mm-hmm.
How does that affect this matchup on Monday over at Lyon County? Are they, do you feel better having more under your belt, more experience?
I think that the experience that we have will be good. I guess you can look at it a couple different ways. I think we played a little bit more with Christmas break than they did.
That's
4,
right.
5, 6 games. They were off for a good bit of time there. So you take that couple of weeks out, and we've probably played pretty equal. But, Livingston is a team that is a veteran team for the most part. They start a middle school guard as well. But, we have to be very ready. We felt like we played extremely well when we played them here at home back at I guess it was the end of January, or right before we went to the All-A State tournament, maybe next to the last week in January. But, they'll come gunning. And, a team, I tell girls all the time, we're the reigning district champions. We are a team that made it to the finals of the region last year. And so, you know, people are going to be throwing their best punches at us, and so we have to be ready for that. And we should expect nothing less from Livingston than the very best that they've got, and we have to be ready to play that way as well.
And you don't want to look past anybody, but you know, we would like to get to that championship game, and you know, looming out there is the host Lyon County. But I understand they've had an injury. Courtney Collins, I think, is maybe out for the year. Is what I'm hearing.
I heard she had an ankle injury, but I'm not really sure. I haven't asked a lot of questions about that. But you know, any time you get to the district tournament, this 5th district tournament, I think you throw everything out the door. It doesn't matter the you know, the rivalries and the just desire to get out there to compete in that district tournament is something that every team has, and so it doesn't matter where you are in the seeding. It doesn't matter what you've done before. You better be ready to play.
And you go, you know, again, not to look past Livingston by any stretch of the imagination, because they beat us once this season, but. You know, if you do face Lyon County, you got to play them over there on their floor, and then their student section is always rowdy, and they pack the house.
They do.
It's
you
a
know,
great atmosphere.
I think their girls team has really fed off of their guys team. I think they have, you know, the expectation of playing hard and playing well and shooting the ball well and all those kind of things. I think they've really absorbed that, and you see those kids playing that way. And you know, when we played them a couple weeks ago, I thought they played extremely well. You know, and so we're, you know, and it is their home floor. So if we do get a chance to play them again, it won't be any easy task to come away with a win. That's for sure.
Yes, then we've played 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah, we played them. That's right. Played them over Caldwell and then.
Right.
All right, well, Coach Hodge, appreciate the opportunity to have you on here, and hopefully in a couple of weeks before you go to the regional tournament, we'll get back on here.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
Do it again.
Yeah, well, we hope Rocket Nation shows up big out here for the district tournament. Now we're going to need you, you know. So everybody's, and I want to say thanks to everybody. Man, we've had great crowds once again this year. It doesn't matter where we are. At home, we've had great crowds. When we're on the road, we have as many people as the home team does most of the time. So, you know, you guys out there, it doesn't go unnoticed. Yeah. We really appreciate it.
And gosh, you know, Lyon County's almost a home game for us, huh? It's only about 15 miles over there, and for some of them, you know, it's 8 miles from my house. I'm as close to Lyon County high schools and Crittenden County. So, all right, Coach Hodge, good luck the rest of you. A couple more games here in the regular season, counting the one we're going to play tonight, and then off to the races next week in the district tournament. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll be back with another show later on.